Every time you redecide your schedule, guess what? You lose. I know. It's like, what do you mean, Steve? If I'm redeciding my schedule, I lose. Here's what I found. Producers who close consistently every month, they don't have more discipline than you. They have fewer decisions. One structure, set once, running the same way every single week, regardless of how Monday morning feels. And that's what I call sweat. Same way every single time. Hey, listen, I want you to hear that. Even in my business, I don't have more discipline. I don't have more drive. You're in this business because you've got discipline at some. You're already disciplined. Everybody's disciplined. You get up about the same time. You do about the same things. You say it the same way. Whether you know it or not, you've already got disciplines running in your life. The challenge is so much of what we do is reactive. And me too, it was for so long. I'll never forget. I had my dear friend, I had this 19-year-old barista join me years ago. It's been like 10 or 11 years ago now. And when she joined me, she was probably one of, and I hope she's listening, but Jolea, one of the best things that happened to me in my business in that season. Because what really, we had the pleasure of working together for so long, and she used to help me build my calendar. And I'll never forget when she did it. It was one of those things where I was like, I'm a high ID on the DISC assessment. I know some of you guys may be the same, where it's like I'm real good at relationships and I drive to task, not real good at being steady. I kind of jump all over the place, and I'm terrible at details, but I've gotten much better, right? And here's what was so interesting. There was this season where she was managing my calendar, and what in the beginning I was like, no, you can't do it. It feels so restrictive. Don't do that. I want to just be free flowing, and I want to have conversations and be loose. And what I began to realize was this: a livable, same way every time calendar isn't restrictive. It's actually freedom. See, because what happens is when we understand what a predictable producer does to get the activity or to get the results that they're are what they do, the right activity to get the results that they know they're called and created to get, be, do, and have, right? What happens is predictability doesn't happen with randomness. Predictability happens by doing it the same way every time and doing the most effective things the same way every time. And listen, it's not perfect. It's not perfection. We've already talked about that. Progress is greater than, which is our brand symbol, than perfection. So what you've got to do is this. I don't walk in on Monday and say, hey, I wonder what I've got to do. I walk in, you're going to build a life and lifestyle, which is so remarkable. You know what will happen? Right now, half of you are stressed out in the middle of the night. You wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot I got to do that and this and that and this and that and this. And me too, I used to do it. But a predictable producer, you know what you're going to do? You're going to wake up and you're not even going to know what happens on Monday. You're going to literally, once you get up and running and have a great routine, you're going to flip open your calendar. You're going to say, oh, that's what I'm doing today. Oh, it's already on my calendar. And you're going to do it on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And what's going to happen is there's a freedom that comes from having a same way every time week. And we talked about this. The industry's intoxicated with your busyness. They'd love for your boss, your manager, your company, this industry, the agent, the title rep, and the underwriter. They all want to just hit you all day long with all the stuff. But a predictable producer is one that wakes up and says, wow, this is what Monday looks like for me. Because when you put things in the right order, in the right sequence, in the right priority, at the right time, that has a natural flow and a natural bend. The reason we do Monday's activity the way we do Monday is because it's a natural flow off the weekend. And Tuesday, why do we do it? It's a natural flow off of Monday. And Wednesday is the biggest flex day, which is why it's Sphere of Influence and Database. And Thursday, we're making the activity around getting ahead of the weekend and when typical offers are made. And Friday is either go deeper in my business and work to prospect more and gain more, or it's to work on my business because I've already got business coming in. I want to accelerate where we're going. The framework is a line upon line, a precept upon precept. It's a breathable, livable calendar. And if some of you are feeling stressed when I say, what are you doing this week and what's driving your activity? Today is the day that stops. You have a choice. And I love it. A friend of mine, we used to say it all the time. I want you to say right now, I choose. I either choose chaos or I choose a predictable, livable week that serves me, my family, my kids, my life, my energy, my focus, my effort, my God, the community that I serve, the people that I serve. My calendar drives all of that. You know, in one of the things that's so fascinating, we talk about this in day 4 of the 5-day challenge. And if you want to know more, go to predictableproducer.com. Here's what's so powerful is this. You've got a lot of the right activity moving in the right direction. It's in the wrong order. Let me say it again. It's in the wrong order. And I'll never forget a friend of mine, I heard him say this, and it was just transformational for me. And when he said it, it had been something that had been lingering for a long time, but I couldn't name it. And I knew it was kind of back there. But sometimes when somebody says something, it breaks on the inside of you. You're like, that's it. That's it. I had felt it. I had knew it, but I had never named it. And he talked about being burnt out and exhausted and tired. And I was like, yes, check, yes, check, yes, check. And he said, that's not what it is. And he named it. And when he named it, I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. And that led me down a journey that I'm going to talk about in the 5-day challenge on day 4. And he talked about you're not burnout. You're not frustrated. You're not at exhaustion. If you were, go take a 3-day vacation, take a nap, you'll be fine. But if you do those things and you're still feeling the way you feel, you're depleted. Mind blown. And some of you today, you're depleted. You're running the kids, you're running the family. Some of my moms and single moms here and single dads, and you're doing your very best to hold on. And you know you're called to this business and you're closing a couple deals a month, but it's inconsistent. It's high highs and low lows and big emotions and big roller coasters. I believe God called me to create and build this for you. Just like it's helped me, I know it's for you. Because it's time to get off of this roller coaster and this exhaustion cycle. And when you build a livable calendar, I was working with a friend of mine, and she's a single mom, and she said, Steve, my goal is to hit, and hers, it was, I mean, it's a solid number. It was like, I don't know, a good solid number. And she said, but Steve, I pick my kids up every day at around 2:30. And I said, well, let's build a calendar around that. See, when you have the right order, then everything else works, because some of you have been taught you got to work 9 to 5 and you got to do it like this, 15 hours a day. Listen, I was too. I believed it. I believed the lie. But here's what I'll tell you. If you could be more effective with the time you already have, and you could block out from 1:30 to 3 o'clock to take care of your kids when you pick them up, and then plug back in for another hour afterwards to wrap up details and put it all together, or to make sure you work in a way so that 90% of your work's done before 1:30, guess what? Who said it had to be the other way? Why can't you build a calendar that serves you and your family first, then prospecting, then everything else? And what I want to encourage you is in the 5-day challenge, we're going to help you build your livable, same way, every time calendar so that it serves you. And instead of being exhausted and depleted, and listen, I want to validate you. Nobody told us. Nobody taught us. Man, I wish when I got in this business 24 years, somebody had said, Steve, here's the 5-day challenge. Follow this framework and you are 15 years ahead of everybody else. I'd have been like, yes. I probably wouldn't have believed it was that easy. It's not easy. It's simple to implement, it's not easy to execute because it requires consistency. But I'm going to help you with that as well as we move into the live foundations classes that'll happen after the challenge. You know, I believe once you get the foundation, then we're going to implement it over 12 weeks. We're going to implement it over the next 2 years and 3 years. I believe this is the catalyst for what you've been searching for, and God brought you here for such a time as this. You don't have to live depleted. You don't have to live exhausted. You don't have to live with this tension of my family feels like business is first. Listen, that's why I built the livable calendar. That's why I built the same way every time. For me personally, I literally was working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You remember my mantra used to be, nobody will outwork me. I've told you some of the story. And I'll never forget, I was meeting with a friend of mine, and I could tell my family was starting to resent me. And it was at that moment where I began to realize everybody has the same hours in the same day, in the same week. It's what you do with those hours. And in day 4 of the 5-day challenge, I'm going to help you with it. And I'm going to help you build a livable, sustainable, a calendar in your life where you feel like, whew, I am finally free. What would it be like to be free? Free from the guilt of feeling like you didn't do enough, free of the guilt of not, my family feels like business is always first. Listen, me too. But there's a better way, and I believe the 5-day challenge is going to help you with it. So I want to just encourage you with this, that there in the 5-day challenge, it's 5 days of content, which is on demand. Doesn't mean you have to take 5 days. You could take 10 days. You could take 20 days. You could take 5 hours and go through the content. The reason why I felt like it should be a 5-day challenge is because if you just go through one module a day, one day's modules every day, because it's a training and a walk through the worksheet, and then I give you a worksheet that helps you implement exactly what we did. And here's what's really cool. In building it, I didn't even realize in the beginning, it wasn't until the end that I realized we built an entire workbook through the downloadable resource, about 30 pages. And man, if there were any gift I could give the industry, it'd be that. Because what I believe, it's 24 years of masterminding with other great loan officers, implementing it in my personal business. And I believe for many of you, somebody's like, Steve, why do you do this? What are you trying to do? I'll tell you why. I have 5 big rocks in my life every single day. Number 1, I want to abide in God's love. Number 2, I want to love the people in and around my life. So it's abide, love. When I love, and one of the things in loving is, it is connecting with the people that I know and love and the people around my life. Number 3 is sweat. I want to be able to do something physical every single day. Number 4 is advance. Listen, you know where it came from, and y'all heard me talk about it in the previous podcast. My dear friend Ron Lemon, I was sitting with him. We used to meet every other week for years and years and years at this barbecue joint. And I came in exhausted, and I said, Ron, I just want to coast. And if you're watching this, he said, son, the world doesn't move. He said, the world is uphill. The day you start coasting, you will lose ground. And you know what came out of that is my 4th big rock of my life, which is advance. Every day I want to take territory. And I love what James Clear said in his book, Atomic Habits. And it was probably the biggest takeaway I had, is all I want to do is get 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. And in our businesses, we need to be advancing every day. And it's not this drudgery where it's like, oh my gosh, it's such a weightiness. What it really is, advancing is life. You're either advancing or you're losing ground. And number 5, the reason I created the Predictable Producer, and I tell my kids every day that God has called us to teach. So we are called every day to help the next person take their next step. And listen, there's some of you today, you're further than I am, and you're helping me. I've got friends that are closing way more transactions than I'm closing. And it's funny, I call them on a weekly basis and bi-weekly basis. What are you doing here? And how are you doing that? And then they'll ask me something, and I might be a little bit better in my structure or script or process. And I'm like, well, okay, what if you did this? And it's this sharpening. And if I'm visualizing these 2 iron swords that are just clinging against each other. It's this iron that sharpens as they pass each other. And guess what? We run faster, further together. We're not alone with all these headaches by ourselves, but rather we're going to get there faster in a really, really cool way. But it's through teaching. And guys, y'all have heard me talk about it. The discipleship model of what we're building in the Predictable Producer is that last 5th part, my 5th big rock in my life, which is I'm here to teach. And guess what? It doesn't mean I know it all. It just means every day I'm going to help the next person as much as I can, which is why I created the 5-day challenge. Really, some of you have asked me, Steve, why did you create Loan Officer Leadership years and years ago? Because I wanted to help people. That was it. The only agenda I ever had was I want to help you get there further, faster, less headaches, and not alone by yourself. Because I know this, when we move together in a community in the same direction, you're going to see transformation and rapid acceleration in your business. You have what it takes. You can do it. Now is your time. Take action. 5-day challenge. Go to predictableproducer.com, and I hope to see you on the inside. Remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.